The Somerford Marathon is one of the club's oldest, most prestigious and unique events. First contested in the 1940-41 season, the event was named after club legend and life member Warren Somerford, who won the race 7 times in succession from 1945-46 through to 1951-52, then again in 53-54 and 57-58. Most of its early history, the race was the domain of the boaties. As well as Somerford, the race was won by boat champions such as Jim Polaris, Bob Harper and Bill Jarman. In the late 70s, a new breed of all-rounder emerged, and it was water competitors such as Brett Cameron and Andrew Walker leading the way. In 1990, a new first female trophy was established and has been dominated by Alison O'Toole, who has won all but 4. In 1993-94, Alison became the first female to finish in the top 3 in the race, and the following year became the first female to win the event outright. The open race has been dominated in recent times by Ken Tomczak, who this year is looking to beat Warren Somerford's 50-year-old record and win the race for the 8th consecutive time.
When you come into the sandbank, see guys are standing down with a signal phone out in the water. Then a bit further down there's another person.
The event begins with a swim around the city groin, followed by a wade through knee-deep water. Competitors then hit the sand for a run north past Floreat Groin, Floreat Surf Club and onto the drain, approximately 1.5 kilometres from the start line. They then leave the beach and run over the sand dunes to the back road. They run south along the road before returning through the dunes to the beach. Once back on the beach, it's a soft sand run all the way back to city club rooms. The runners then continue south and follow a course which alternates between the soft beach, sand dune walkways and the bike track along Challenger Drive. After the last sand dune path, competitors run back along the water's edge to finish at the front of the club rooms. And a big field here for this Somerford Marathon, and this year a big field, a keen field and probably a fast field. You see defending champion Ken Tomczak there, looking for a record-breaking 8th win this year. As they're away, looks like Jono Stock leading the crowd into the water. A few of the swimmers generally tend to be out in front early, which isn't always a good thing, as they once they hit the beach find the fatigue sets in very quickly. And most of these smart old hands just tend to sit in the middle of the pack for this first swim leg.
And it's Jono Stock stroking out well in front with about a 2 metre lead there, closely followed by what looks like James Cohen, Ben Carrick and Luke Tidy finishing off the top 4. If we go back, we see some of the girls there, Alicia Marriott and Kim Lovett with Alison O'Toole not too far away. And we can see as they head around the first of the swimming turning cans there, it's still Jono Stock with a good turn there. Maybe some other dodgy turns there by the rest of the field, but they're stroking well as they come in. And no swell today to help these front markers across the little shallow bank there as they make their way halfway in from the opening leg of the Warren Somerford Marathon.
And as they come into the beach, as expected, the swimmers and Ironmen are leading the field at the moment. As they come in, they're going to round this flag and begin a wade leg of around about 200 metres, which is one of the most difficult parts of the race. Very hard on the legs, and of course once you finish that, you've then got to get out and run 7 or 8 kilometres on varying hard and soft sand. So again, the more experienced competitors will probably take this wade quite easy, whereas some of the first timers usually are found going a little bit too hard in this part and bringing the fatigue on in the legs far too early.
It looks like it's Alicia Marriott with the best of the wading skills there. She's almost into first place with some porpoising, as we see Ken Tomczak heading up the second pack, and we'd be expecting Ken would be fairly happy with his position there as he makes his way onto the wade. And first out of the water it is Alicia Marriott, closely followed by Luke Tidy, Ben Carrick, Jono Stock just putting the makeup on and a hat, and Alison O'Toole, the second female competitor in, with Kenny Tomczak just making his way around. Looks like we're looking back, Alex Stock, Fiona Doney.
Ken Tomczak there, he'd be quite happy with where he's sitting at the moment. A little bit behind the leaders, but he knows that his best part is still to come. So head along the water's edge up towards Floreat. Most of the pack there in one big group. They've got to find their way across the groin somehow. Duncan Jacobs choosing to go up onto the soft sand earlier than the rest of the field, which is an interesting tactic. It'll be interesting to see if that one pays off for him. And Bob Harper, the oldest man in the field, just still taking his time in the water. Of course, he won this event 4 times in the 70s, so he knows what's still to come. He's not going to be caught going too hard too early.
And there we see Ken Tomczak, odds-on favourite to take out a record-breaking win here as he makes his way through the field. He'll be setting his sights for the rest of the field here in front as we see Alicia Marriott running well, striding out well.
And there's Alison O'Toole, the first of the females, and she's just behind this lead pack of Jono Stock, Ben Carrick, Luke Tidy and James Cohen. Jono's too busy playing with himself to run properly at the moment, so Ben Carrick just takes the lead. But Jono just making a few adjustments to the speedos there as he runs along.
But have a look at Alison O'Toole running past these guys like they're standing still. If you ever want to see a better technique for running, then just look no further than Alison O'Toole as she strides past and absolutely canes these guys on the hard sand as they're making their way down to the Floriat Drain. And it looks like Duncan has joined the lead pack as well. But have a look back here. It's Alicia Marriott hot on the tail of Ken Tomczak as he's slowly tracking this field down as the lead pack make their way up towards the Floriat Drain and onto the first of the soft sand.
Still Alison O'Toole, Jono, James, Ben and Luke still sitting in behind her. Seem to have dropped off Duncan Jacob. He may have gone a little bit too hard too early in the water section.
Have a look at the capacity crowd from the public watching here and the fan club of dogs as they make their way up the first of the sand dunes. And if you ever want to know what it's like to have heavy legs, well, just keep running up these sand dunes and you'll know what it feels like. And Ken Tomczak's again well placed. He's into about 6th position and getting into the sand dunes. That's where Ken likes to be with the soft sand and the steep slopes. And he's already overtaken Duncan there. His obviously legs will be burning. Alicia Marriott well placed as the second female competitor. And here we are on to Kenny Cam. This camera is located just above Ken's right nipple as we can see a Ken eye view of the course. So Kenny Tomczak taking us through this course, and as you can see, look at the speed as he makes his way down this slope, and he'll be taking a hard right-hand turn when he'll look up and be able to see the rest of the field there. Obviously they're just around that first bend as Ken makes his way across this car park. Standing on rocks, sharp bits of glass is always a good way to start the marathon.